Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. We are so excited to talk about Renna's new book, and that is Public Speaking as Storytelling. For those of you that are watching this recording, everyone that watches the recording in the next 24 hours is going to have an opportunity to get a copy of her book for free. We're going to give you some details on how you can get your hands on this book throughout the chat with her today. One thing I should say is that I really believe in the message behind this book. You know, for those of you that have been watching my content for quite some time, you'll know that I have over a decade of experience in persuasive public speaking and coaching others. And storytelling is most certainly a device for persuasive public speaking. But for those of you that may be newer or have not seen the overcoming fear content, you'll know that I had a huge crippling fear of public speaking. And I overcame that fear. It unlocked my passion to think, what if I never overcame my fear? I wouldn't have this incredible career that I've had traveling across the world. And so I'm really intrigued about the concept behind this book. It is a 13-day step-by-step guide. And so I'm going to propose that we all have a bit of a challenge as we're reading it together. We can share tips in the group, things that we found interesting, and let's see how we can bring storytelling forward in our public speaking as a way to calm our nerves. So I have to take a little moment to introduce Renna Nightingale. She is not just an author, but she absolutely loves storytelling, whether it's reading it, writing them, helping others and empowering them to tell their own stories. When she's not speaking publicly, she is really helping writers and business owners to publish their stories, go from writing that first page to getting the book published and sharing their own stories and their own journey. She has just moved to New York City, and one of her favorite places, yes, is the Met, and particularly the Impressionism section. And wow, the Met is one of my all-time favorite museums. Ren and I have so much in common, one of them being the love of the arts. What we don't have in common is her love of coffee. So I don't drink coffee, but if you are in New York and you have a favorite coffee shop, let Renna know where she needs to go to get her coffee. But that's enough from me. I think Renna, dive in. Hi, welcome.
Hi, thank you. I'm so thrilled to be here. And yeah, if you have a coffee shop recommendation in the Manhattan area, please let me know. I'm on a quest to find all the cute coffee shops and bookshops in Manhattan. So, that business aside, I really wanted to start with a story. So, when I was 17 years old, I fell off a waterfall in South Africa. So, I was studying abroad in South Africa, and as many of my stories with bad choices begin, there was a cute boy. So this cute boy in question, I know, right? Hopefully that's relatable and I'm not alone. So this cute boy said to me, "Hey, Renna, would you like to climb the waterfall?" So our campus had a 30-foot waterfall, which was so beautiful. And there was a bridge at the top where I'd sit, do my homework, and read. And he found me there and said, "Do you want to climb this waterfall?" Well, a couple things flashed through my mind, Megan. One is which I don't have any athletic ability whatsoever. The good Lord, when he was making me, forgot the coordination gene. But I looked into his beautiful blue eyes and I said, yeah, why not? Gotta risk it for the biscuit. And so we started climbing down this waterfall. And at first, it was great. It was magical. I felt like I was in a rom-com. The sun was shining. I was in South Africa, which you're from, Megan, which is so fun.
Yeah.
The birds were singing, the monkeys were chittering. We get to the bottom of this waterfall, and I'm thinking, okay, we did it, we nailed it. And then this boy has the audacity to say to me, "Hey, why don't we climb up on the other side of this waterfall?" And I thought, man, like we already did this, but okay, like I'm halfway there. I certainly can make it back up. Let me tell you, the climb up the waterfall was not as much fun. Gravity was against me. And so he's going first. I'm following after him. And I'm thinking, just make it to the top, Renna. You can do this. It's all for love. And as I pushed up on the top rock right before the bridge at the top of the waterfall, my hands slipped. I am now free falling in the air. My ankle hits a rock and I'm spinning, and all of a sudden I'm Supermaning my way down these 30 feet in the air to the bottom of the waterfall. Two thoughts go through my mind. One, Mom, I'm really sorry. And two, God, I'm really sorry I've wasted this life that you've given me. And so as I'm falling, there are two giant boulders in the bottom of this pool, and I fall right in the middle. If I had fallen an inch to the right or to the left, I would not be here with you today. Whew. Every time I tell that story, I'm just grateful to be alive. But I also
Wow.
share that story, Megan, because it's an incredible metaphor for what this book is about. So, as I was telling that story, hopefully a lot of things were going on. First of all, you felt connected to me, right? Because you put yourself in my shoes. And cognitively, what's going on is that your entire brain lit up with what are called mirror neurons. So, you're immediately turning on your empathy and imagining, okay, what would I have done if that really cute boy asked me to do something that I knew was a really stupid idea, right? And so then all these emotions are coming into play for you. Hopefully, you felt the butterflies of young love and the wonder of what it would be like to be in a beautiful place and feel like you're in a rom-com. And then hopefully you felt abject terror as I'm like flying through the air. I ruined the suspense a little bit by being here telling you this story, but still, we're falling through the air and we don't know what happened. And so through that, we have extracted the emotions from a story, and you have felt connected to me by the empathy and your mirror neurons. And on the other side, I felt way less nervous because instead of just thinking about myself and being afraid of how you are perceiving me, my brain went into storytelling mode. And what's so cool about our brains, I nerded out so much for the research of this book, is that our brains are wired for stories. Our brains crave turning chaos into order. So our brains are constantly thinking beginning, middle, and end. So, in order to turn off my fear, which is a very primal thing, it's the number one fear for Americans, at least, and not the whole world. Megan, I know you're not American, but it's okay. Um,
I
we
spent
are
enough I spent enough time there for
Come
sure.
on, you're an honorary American.
I
So
can be
we'll,
honored.
and yes, and you have shared about your fear of public speaking. So we all really can connect over this topic. It's primal, right? And so this is the magic link for speakers and audiences. Because as speakers, when we start telling stories, we're not thinking, oh no, what do I say next? Oh no, we're reliving the memory. And it's so clear where I go next to my story for beginning, middle, and end. And for audience members, you are engaged with me. We already feel a connection because we are connecting over the emotions of the story. And that is the basis, the crux, the skeleton of my book.
It is absolutely incredible. I have to say, as you were telling the story, being that I'm living in South Africa, I had a very vivid type of picture of what you were describing.
Incredible.
And young love, I would have also been like, sure, let's go
Let's do
climb.
it.
But not only did I used to have a fear of public speaking, I have quite an incredible fear of heights, which
Oh
only
no.
developed when I got older. When I was younger, it didn't bother me. But as I got older, and when you said that about your hand slipping, I could actually feel the adrenaline in my feet.
Oh my gosh. Oh, in your feet.
In my feet.
Oh, no.
I do. I feel it in my feet.
She feels the tingles.
Yeah, exactly. So I was there with you. And before you said it was a metaphor, because we were talking about fear of public speaking, that's how I used to feel before I would get on stage, before I overcame this kind of like free falling, and I'm completely not in control.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
what a message I want to share with everyone is that public speaking it's a learned skill, and you can overcome your fear of it. And it's quite empowering, at least I've experienced it, empowering when you do overcome it. So maybe you could tell us a little bit more about, I mean, the stories are great. You've sort of explained how the book all came about, but tell us a little bit more about the steps and what we could expect on this like 13-day journey that we're hopefully all going to take together and share in the group.
Absolutely. So when I was constructing this book, I thought, what is going to be the easiest and the most joyful way that someone can construct a keynote. So, if I'm going to be honest, I love reading fiction because, as I think we can all glean, I am a story girl. So, nonfiction works for me can be a little bit of a struggle to complete. So, I wanted to make sure that this was fun and it feels like you and I are sitting for coffee, or Megan, you and I would be sitting for, tea or your beverage of choice. And so you hear a bunch of stories throughout and metaphors. So we're going to start the book by really making sure you understand the fascinating intricacies of the science of story. And then we're going to help you pick your topic. And then my favorite part is choosing a metaphor for this topic. So the way that you overcome your nerves of public speaking, it's going to be through your passion. And so that's one way that story connects. And another is through your passion. So let's say, Megan, what is one of your passions besides public speaking?
Right now, I have quite an it's a little odd passion that I've sort of started developing, but decorating cakes.
Oh, this is perfect. I'm so glad you chose that. That's amazing. So let's say that for your work, Megan, it is going to be your job to educate the company on how the standard procedure of work emails must be sent. You need a structure. They want you to have a specific title. They want you to make sure the body, the content of your email has ABC and that your signature looks a certain way. Well, would you say that that necessarily sounds like a very thrilling thing to communicate?
No, not at all.
No, absolutely not. This is why we are going to use your passion. I don't care if your passion is, bird watching, beekeeping, rare book collecting, or I guess, anything that starts with a B. Whatever your passion is, we are going to use it as a metaphor into what I call the yellow brick road of your speech. So, since your passion probably has to do with steps, right? So, can you tell me what are 3 steps for decorating cakes?
Well, the first thing is to make sure that you've got all the right piping tips and that you can
Incredible.
find them all because that my kids play with them and take them around. Um, so have all your piping tips then to get your icing the right consistency, and then it's
Incredible.
really just the fun of now going ahead and creating. Maybe choosing the color palette you want to use, and then
Mm.
going ahead and being creative.
That is so good. So, if you were giving this speech about creating email content that's approved by your company, you could start by saying, okay, first we have to find the piping. So, first you're going to have to find the information that you are going to dispense. And then you're going to want to organize it. And that's going to make sure you have all your ingredients lined up on the counter. And so, you're going to use your passion as these check marks along the yellow brick road. And the ending is going to be your beautiful cake all ready to go, all ready to share with friends. And the email all perfectly prepared. So when you are sharing your passion, I'm immediately interested. I'm curious. This is quirky. How is it going to connect? And I'm learning about you. So I feel connected to you. You are going to feel passionate about this cake decorating. And I'm going to remember next time I go to write an email, I'm going to be like, wait, I forgot the piping. I forgot the color palette that I'm going to use. That's what's missing from my work email. So anyway, that's a big section that I'm really, really passionate about that's going to set your keynotes apart. And then I also go through what I call fighting the villain, which is really taking a look at fear and making sure it's not in the driver's seat. It's a very human thing, and you're not alone if you feel that way. But here are some tangible ways to work through that fear. And then I make sure that you feel really, really prepared with the props you're going to use, making sure you've contacted your contact at the event. Are you using a handheld or using a lav or a Britney Spears mic for your speech? Every detail matters. And I want to make sure that readers feel like they don't have to worry anymore about what to do, just how to apply themselves to the structure and walk away feeling empowered, feeling fearless and excited to do something in a way that represents their passion and their abilities.
I absolutely love that. And, connection is, I feel like, the driving message. And when you're being
Yes.
authentically yourself, people have, excuse my language here, but people, especially my experience working in an American audience, is the BS meter is really high. Like they know, like if you think you're going to fake stuff and you're going to fake emotions and try to like retell somebody else's story or try to emulate somebody else. A lot of people, when you start public speaking, you start by emulating a certain style of somebody that you admire. It might
Mm-hmm.
not be natural to your own
Yes.
personality, and then there'll be a disconnect. So
Yeah.
be there is a vulnerability in sort of sharing who you are, but if you can link
Yeah.
it to a passion and then bring it through, like the cake, using the cake example in the email, it's it's really where the connection lies, and connection is what will make a keynote stand out, because I see this so
Absolutely.
often. Speaker gets up after speaker and you kind of get like a round of applause and everyone goes yay, and then you go, oh, I obviously did well in my speech, I got a round of applause, but what happens afterwards?
Yes.
You know,
Absolutely.
do 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 you generate more revenue for your business?
Yeah.
Are people actually coming to talk to you so that you can take it to the next step, or did
Yeah.
you just deliver something? Or is someone coming to you afterwards to share with you how much you've impacted them, and then
Yeah.
they share stories with you? Then you know that you've given a very powerful presentation, because it's hit people emotionally, and emotion is key, right?
That's so good. That's so good, Megan. And you're right. And that is how, if they don't remember what you talked about, which this is a device, right, with the baking cakes example, the yellow brick road trajectory, then they're not going to be able to apply it. If they forget your speech the second you go off stage, then your impact is going to decrease, right? And so it's all about bringing, like you said, your vulnerable, your authentic self. And something I do want to share too is when I talk about passion, the way that I communicate passion is with big hand motions and a lot of enthusiasm, because that's how I'm wired. But I make sure to talk about in the book that everyone's passion can look different. You don't need to be loud and exhilarating and bubbly like I am. You can be reserved and your passion will still shine through in the way that is unique to you. So, like you said, don't try to be somebody else. Tap into the things that make you spark, that make you alive, and allow that passion to be, communicated in the way that's authentic to you.
That's so true, because if you try, it's one of those things, you try to connect with everybody, you will connect with no one. You're
Oh,
also
girl, that's
looking
so
for the
good. Yes.
people that you want to connect with, and that's through telling your story. And there is a sense of vulnerability there. But one thing that I found was, when I was overcoming my fear of public speaking, is that being on the mic, you're actually in the driver's seat. You've got a lot more control than
So
people
good.
realize. And so, you can decide how vulnerable you want to be in that moment,
Wow.
and when to pull back. And there's something that I call, when I talk about emotions, called sitting in the pocket. And
Mm,
it's when, for example, you say you're excited, sound excited,
yes,
but
very
you
good.
need to actually feel the
Yeah.
emotions that you're saying. Uh, and sometimes I've caught myself almost getting quite tearful, and I've had to pull
Oh,
back. And my
wow.
husband used to work with me, and he used to watch, and he was like, "Why didn't you push further? Because like
Wow.
you were getting emotional." And then I was like, I didn't want to be exploitive. If you know what I
Mm,
mean. You have to
yeah.
ride a fine line of sharing genuine emotion, but you still want
Yeah.
to keep things professional if you're in a
Yes.
professional environment.
Right.
But be yourself is key, most
It's so
most
good.
definitely. So I'm curious, if there is one step that you would say that would like help you to overcome your fear in your experience, what is like the one thing
Yes.
that you would drive home to say, this is a key factor in overcoming fear?
So good. So, as we've been talking about stories, obviously we're thinking about the stories on stage we're telling, but what stories are you telling yourself? So, your internal stories, your internal narrative makes the difference of the entire world. So, an example is, yes, I'm getting a clap from
I,
Megan. Yes.
I
So,
agree.
right. So when someone comes up to you and says, "Oh, how are you feeling about your speech?" If you say nervous, guess what? Your brain says, "Oh, I need to be nervous. I need to feel it." And it's going to send, all of those neurons throughout your body to say, "We need to feel nervous. We need to speed up the heart. We need to get sweaty." So in those moments, the stories you need to say, and I say this in my book, the only response you're allowed to say when people say, "How are you feeling about your speech?" Here are your options: excited, prepared, focused, ready. Because by controlling that narrative that you're saying outside and inside, You're allowing your body to regulate, to calm, and to be focused, and to know you have prepared. You are ready. You are an expert. That's why you were chosen for the situation.
I couldn't agree with you more. You summed that up for me absolutely beautifly.
Yay.
The internal narrative
Yeah.
is such a critical component, and the body reacts exactly the same way when we're nervous and when we're excited. So that
Yes.
increased heart rate, the excess adrenaline, the sweating of the palms, the dry mouth, the increased speech, exactly the same way as when you're excited. So
So good. So good.
can you just repeat that? It's excited.
Yes.
Repeat the four
Yes.
for me. I want everybody to write this down and to like know it, let
So
it
good.
sink in. The
Here we go.
four
Yes.
responses.
You're allowed to say, I am excited, prepared, focused, ready. That's it.
Absolutely
Those are
love
your
it. Hope
options.
everyone's that's like a big takeaway. Everyone make sure that you've got that message for
Yes.
sure. And um so, quick question. I am very excited to share this book with everybody
Thank you.
and to start a little challenge in the group. I want everybody to
Woo!
read and comment along. We'll put some posts there, and to get a copy of the book.
Yes.
What we're going to suggest to everybody is in the comments of the live stream or the recording. Sorry, the recording of the recording is I want you to write at Renna Nightingale. So she'll come up, so she's tagged. And then I want you to write the title of her book, which is Public Speaking as Storytelling. Then
Woohoo!
she will reach out to you and give you a copy of the book. Okay, so that is
Yep.
really, really, really key. And I am really, truly excited for everybody to unleash the power of stories because
Come
it
on.
is so powerful and it is such a great way to speak because when you're telling stories, not only are you more persuasive, more
Yep.
captivating, but as Rena said as well, is that it takes people on a journey. It's going to make you memorable and it's going to help you to calm those nerves, which is absolutely amazing. Now, I do have one little sneaky question to ask because I love this comment.
Oh.
But I did see there that this is not your grandmother's public speaking book. Elaborate on that.
I'm
I love the
sure.
details. I love where we're going. But what was the intention behind that?
So part of the verbiage that I'm using around this book is this is not your grandma's public speaking book, and that's because I didn't want it to feel stodgy. I didn't want it to feel like you're having a textbook in class that you have to drag around and that you have to work through. And there are some incredible voices in public speaking that are you know that are perhaps a little behind the times, and that's great. They were so necessary and I've learned so much from them. But this is a resource for now. This is a resource for the public speaking engagements that you are receiving, and it's fun, it's fresh, you're going to have a delight reading it. I've put so many embarrassing stories in here because I want you to feel empowered and silly and like you have a pal coaching you through this experience. So that's what I mean when I say it's not Grammy. And I also say no offense to Grammy. Maybe your Grammy is popping, and that's amazing. Ooh, and I wanted to share too, just in case anyone who is interested in this material is not a reader, that's okay. I want you to know that I'll provide free audio files as well. So if you want to put me on in the car as you're cleaning, that's another amazing and quick way for you to get a hold of this material.
That is absolutely incredible because one, yes, not everybody loves to read. Some people prefer to listen. But what I find is through audio and through listening, you're using when you're public speaking, you are listening and you're talking instead of reading and writing. And so it helps to
Right.
develop that skill set because the two go together. It might seem counterintuitive.
Intuitive.
Well, I'm talking, why am I listening? You should be listening to signals from your audience, whether they're laughing, smiling, even
So good.
watching their body language
Yeah.
moving in.
Yes.
So while you're speaking, you want to be listening. So developing that skill set as well is incredible. And for those of you that don't necessarily like to read, a great option so that you can still get all the huge benefits from the book itself. Renna, quick question. Tell us a little bit more about your company, Plot Twist Studios.
Oh, thank you for asking. So, Plot Twist Studios is a company for aspiring authors and writers. I take you to page one all the way to published. So, if you've ever thought, I have an idea for a book, but I don't know what to do, I do. I'm your girl. It is my great passion in life to meet people with great ideas who have a dream to be an author. So, whether this is your dream to be a writer or whether you are a company owner and you want to have a resource available for your clients, this is an incredible option to make you an expert and to have a product available for you. So I love helping meet authors and writers where they are and letting their dreams come true.
That's incredible. And I know we've got a very diverse group of incredible women in our group, Public Speaking for Women. Many of them business owners, many of them writing or maybe aspiring to be a writer. So while obviously our focus is public speaking, this is all about building a community. And we really appreciate your time sharing your insights with us. I'm so excited for the launch of the book. Just so everybody does know, the book goes live for sale on the 5th of August. So we're going to do this little challenge. We're going to read the book together. And I do really genuinely hope that you, once you've finished reading the book, leave a review. Let's build each other up in the group. So leave a review on Amazon on what you experienced through reading the book and the information you received. Share your insights. That would be absolutely amazing. And I'm so excited to have had you here. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Megan, for creating this amazing community. And one thought I'd like to leave everybody with is if you experience nerves and fear for public speaking, that means that you are facing your fears. You are the hero of your own story. And the greater the fear, the bigger and badder you are as the hero to overcome them. And you are living an empowering story.
Sorry, I have to just share. I don't know if anyone, I have goosebumps right now.
Incredible.
Just, I agree 100. We are just in sync on this.
Come on.
It
I love
is
it.
it is something to overcome your fear and be the leader of your own story and be the main
Yeah.
character and share your insights, because your insights can impact people
Yes.
that you didn't even know. So get out there, be brave. Let's work on the skill together.
Woo.
And thank you, everyone. And thank you, Renna, for joining us. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Megan. Thanks,
Bye,
everybody, for
everyone.
watching.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for watching.